Hi, everyone. My name is Shannon Straight, and I'm an occupational therapist in the OTD department at Johnson & Wales University. Today, I'm sharing my UDL+1 solution for 7210 neuroscience. I've titled it, What Makes Students' Synapses Fire to Best Learn Neuroscience for Occupational Therapy. So as I mentioned, my critical event was for my course, Neuroscience. In reflecting back, what is the concern regarding this course? I realize students come to this course very anxious, possibly due to the breadth and depth of the material covered in this foundational course. It does have a history of being very heavy in lecture material and in summative assessments. The readings that they need to come prepared to class with can be challenging. And I've been told that it's very overwhelming for some students. So in reflecting on some of the positive points, the textbook that we utilize has been designed for students that are studying to be either physical or occupational therapy students. So that is a bonus. I myself feel that I bring a lot of clinical experience and background knowledge to the course. I do bring and try to provide very multimodal learning through videos and different coloring pages with anatomy in it, as well as really providing a classroom environment where they can self-regulate, meaning we adjust the lighting as needed. I make sure they get movement breaks in, they sit on exercise balls or play on the floor or whatever it is to help them have the best comfort and learn the best that they can. So what have I identified as barriers to learning in this course? Well, as I've mentioned, it is a course that is heavy in lectures and PowerPoint presentations, as well as the dense reading material. And I believe that that is causing a breakdown in the ability for the students to engage and learn the material, as they tend to try to memorize a lot of the information and they're not learning it. Therefore, they are not comprehending any material, not making any type of connections, or having an ability to generalize information, right? There's not any connections happening there. We also have a lot of medical terminology in this course that I will constantly stop and try to break down and help them understand how they can make those connections from one term to another. But I think that also becomes very overwhelming and they don't see those connections in that moment. They're just seeing a very large and confusing word. How I see my students struggle is through poor planning and problem solving, which is directly connected to that executive function. I've reflected on how well I am currently supporting them and what I can do better. I look at tapping into their executive functioning and helping them to prepare for success more. I wonder how well I am supporting their learning and what I can do to help them do better with that. So one of the things that I have done, and I'm going to utilize a concept map to show you some of the things I have implemented into this course, are a couple different initiatives here. So through engagement, I have been, I've added a few low stake quizzes throughout the semester so that they can, get an idea of what the questioning is going to be like, what type of information I'm looking for, and these are very low stakes, as well as weekly skill checks, I've called them, that are not for a grade, but they get an idea of what those questions are going to be like. And they're providing feedback with instant results. I've also provided notes for them so that they are not feeling like they're constantly having to take notes. They can just listen and really help understand the information. I have introduced the idea of concept maps, which for me, being a visual learner, I think is a real help. I have shown them how they could try to use them. I've given a variety of examples in class, and then, encourage them to talk to me about how to use them if they're having a hard time with that as well. And then I think one of the biggest things I've done as far as changes I've made is implementing the cases for weekly readings that we're doing, where I'm implementing the questions that go along with their chapter readings, and they have these real life scenarios attached to them, and it's helping them to guide their reading and understand it better. So as a reflection overall of this UDL framework, I realized that my appreciation for this neuroscience course has changed dramatically due to this UDL Institute. I have been very transparent with my students this semester that I am making changes and also seeking their opinion. I have already received positive feedback from them about the implementation of the quizzes and the cases. I also realized that it's important to be fluid in our teaching for continuous learning of not only the students, but of ourselves. I'd just like to thank Diana and Rob at this time, and especially the fellow cohort members, that it's been a really great experience.